Karen, share with us a little bit about, what your day-to-day life looks like and the illnesses that you have to deal with.
Okay. So the illnesses that I currently deal with. So it's interesting. When I was younger, so my neurological symptoms started when I was 6, or
Gosh, that's so
5.
young.
5. It was just dizziness and clumsiness. And so my parents, yeah, they took me to a neurologist, and I wasn't diagnosed with CIDP until I was 13. They had no idea what was going on, which is the story with every breast implant person. So I was diagnosed with CIDP when I was 13, but then when I was 27, that diagnosis changed to Friedreich's ataxia. But we do not present like a lot of the other people with Friedreich's ataxia. And then when I was 7, I was diagnosed with GERD and also esophageal motility disorder.
Mm.
And that was only because there was a group doing a study on the kids with the breast implants, or
Hmm.
that had mothers with the breast implants. And that's the only reason why they found it. Um, so
Gosh, wow.
these studies are very, very important,
Yes.
and they need to be done because a lot of times parents don't realize that the stomach aches that their kids are dealing with or the rashes have anything to do with the implants. Um,
Yeah.
so I've dealt with incontinence since I was a child. It's not okay that this has been done to us, but we will fight and deal with everything that we have to because, this this is our life, and we have to make it the best that it can be, regardless of if these people want to acknowledge us or not.
It's so much bigger than we could ever imagine,
Exactly.
because it doesn't just affect the woman. It affects the husband too, that has to take
Right.
care of the woman, or the
Exactly.
partner that has to take care of the woman. And then the children that are either without a mom
Yeah.
because they're sick, or they are affected because they were born,
Right.
within the time frame that the woman had breast
Right.
implants. There's so much that's being affected,
It's so true.
and it's just because we don't have the information
Mm.
out there, and the information we do have out there is being ignored.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
this is why I know you were telling me that you have a podcast.
I do. I co-host a podcast. It's a true crime. It's called the Forgotten News Podcast, and we talk about stories that happened usually like 100 years ago. Um, and I did not start it. My partner did, and he writes it, and it's yeah, he's a great guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Great. Well, I'll make sure that I put the information at the end of this podcast. So if
Okay.
people want to go and listen to your podcast, what other advocacy measures are you doing?
So I am on TikTok.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Um, I'm on Threads. So that is basically what I'm doing right now, is just the social media thing. Um, I have not I have not contacted the FDA. David Krause, who works at the FDA, um, he was the one that my mom actually sent a letter to in May of 2000, 28 days before she committed suicide,
Mm.
and basically talking about how she and I would never stop talking about this, and that, you know, this information needs to be out there.
Now, with all your advocacy, all the things that you are doing, how do you find hope every day through all of this? What is the light that is brought to your life?
Honestly, the mothers are really the main reason, and also the children. Um, because I I want every mother out there that is going through these things with their children to know that they're not crazy. And uh, you know, they actually help me a lot because, you know, there are just so many different things that these chemicals affect. And it's not like we're all the same because
Right.
we're all different because of number 1, like how we're raised, how like what our actual genetics are, because the chemicals mix with our genetics and our DNA and alters DNA. I try to live. I try not to limit, you know, because I'm gonna die early anyway. Um, with the Friedreich's ataxia, and then, everything that's going on with my body, like my bladder's pretty much like I feel like it's gone almost. Luckily, I can still hold it, and can still get to the bathroom at some points. Um, but it, yeah, like my legs don't work very well. Um, and it's interesting because although like I have a lot of numbness in my feet,
Hmm.
it's also extremely sensitive. I have to wear shoes in the shower
Mm.
because I can't even put my feet on the ground because it just goes crazy.
My goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
Caren, you are such an amazing woman and such a bright spirit. I will have to have you on the podcast again. We can talk
Okay.
more about that because I know that many people would love to hear more.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Kit Karen.
Thank you
It's
for
just
having me.
you're so welcome. It's an honor and it's been a joy. So I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you, Darren. For all of those that you're listening today, I just want to say thank you for joining us. And always remember there is hope for healing.